Victoria, so good to see you. We are getting back to basics today. What is IRMAA and how does it affect what you will pay for Medicare Part B? If the Social Security Administration considers you a high income beneficiary, you'll pay a surcharge known as the Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And how high is high income?
Yeah, well, in reality, it's not that high.
No.
So most people pay the base rate, and you can see here the base rate is $202.90. So then if for individuals, if they make north of 109K, now they've entered into IRMAA territory. And for married couple, it's over 218K. Now they're going to be paying that extra surcharge.
Yeah.
Looking at this chart here, you can see that that surcharge can bring your monthly premiums to $689.
Yeah.
And if for a husband and wife, that's a lot of money.
And per person, which I think is really surprising too.
Exactly, right.
And then something else that catches people off guard, IRMAA is a cliff. $1 too much, and you're paying a completely different premium.
Yeah, and it is painful and brutal. So let's step back for a second. Let's say we're looking at your federal taxes, and you're in the 24% tax bracket, and you get that extra 1099 that pushes you $1 into that higher 32% tax bracket. Well, then you're paying 32 cents on that $1. You're not going to lose any sleep over that. Here, though, with IRMAA, if you're over by $1, you are up into that additional bracket. And for individuals, that can be hundreds of dollars more in that year. For married couples, it could be thousands of dollars just by $1.
And then for our observant viewers, I'm sure that they've noticed here so this is your 2026 Part B premium based on your 2024 income. This is known as that 2-year look back. So without proper planning, you may have to pay IRMAA because of a one-time financial event 2 years ago. Walk me through some examples that, surprisingly bump up people's income.
Yeah, interestingly, it's not usually their income, their pension, or Social Security. It's usually one-time events. So it could be selling a home or selling a business, selling appreciated stocks. Roth conversions can do this, and required minimum distributions. Money you don't even need could be forcing you into a higher bracket in retirement. And the interesting thing, because it's a 2-year look back, you often forget about it. Or you're not planning about 2 years in the future.
I can't tell you what I had for breakfast. I can't imagine trying to keep track of all this.
So, Victoria,
let's walk through some strategies then to reduce your IRMAA. And it's interesting that you mentioned Roth conversions because that's also a strategy to reduce IRMAA. But as you mentioned, without careful planning, this can also be a landmine.
Right. Yeah, it's important when you're doing those Roth conversions to really understand the real cost of it. One is the federal taxes and maybe state taxes, but you do need to take into consideration what's the impact going to be on your Medicare Part B and D premiums too. Now, once you do that conversion, then any distributions from that aren't a part of your adjusted gross income. So they're not going to hurt you in the future. So that's one strategy.
And then the next one, health savings accounts. These are uniquely triple tax advantaged.
They certainly are. So when you're working and you have that opportunity to fund those HSA accounts, you should do that. Because when you take money out of those accounts later in life for qualified medical expenses, you don't pay any tax on those, and they're not part of the adjusted gross income.
And again, you mentioned RMDs, those required minimum distributions, which can bump up people's income. And that's where this strategy comes in, qualified charitable distributions. Can you explain how these work, please?
Yeah, it's certainly a helpful tool, especially for individuals who are charitably inclined. You can start doing distributions at 70 and a half, so earlier than your RMD age. When you take distributions for charity, now this is the key, it has to go from your IRA and a check directly to the charity. Then those distributions are not part of MAGI and therefore do not impact your IRMAA or Medicare premiums.
IRMAA is really, to me, complicated. It's so much about threading a needle, especially considering that 2-year look back. So, Victoria, if somebody would like to sit down with you, especially if they're 63, now is when you need to start planning. What's the best way to reach you with questions?
Yeah, they can email us at info@vitalityinvestments.org.
All right, perfect. Victoria, again, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.